the topic, data analysis. Data analysis 1 is the topic, if you like, and this is our first part. Okay, so statistics is a separate stream of mathematics, really. It's quite a specialized thing. It's different from other areas of mathematics. And it's all to do with collecting information, sorting it out, analyzing it, and then presenting it. Okay, that's essentially what statistics is. It's not just doing it for fun, it serves a purpose. So whether it's a company that's collecting statistics about its customers or potential customers, whether it's a political party that's doing a poll of who's more popular, whatever it might be education, something to do with the need for schools in a certain place, the results of students, whatever it is, it collects data. But it's not just about collecting it and presenting a long list. That doesn't mean it. It's in the analysis, and the sorting, and these sort of things, and then presenting it in a way that's easy to understand. That's the important part. And that's where there's all sorts of tricks of analysis, or ways of analyzing it. And so that's what we're going to look at throughout these 2 years. We're looking at different ways of analyzing data and the results that you get. So, obviously, for data to be useful, it needs to be collected, it's organized, it needs to be analyzed, and then it's used to make a decision. Right? So, if you heard in the news today, there was a poll recently. Now the government is in all sorts of trouble and turmoil going on about leadership speculation, because finally the opposition leader is more preferred as a prime minister than the prime minister. And then, so now what they're doing is taking a survey, they've done a poll, which means they get all this information about people's preferences, or this party or that party, and then they've presented it, guys, and then they've presented it in a way that people can understand. Right, you know the ABS, you know what the ABS is? Yeah, in this context, it's Australian Bureau of Statistics. The Australian Bureau of Statistics, just close it and restart, is the body in Australia that collects all sorts of information, and then, so if you go to their website, I mean, there's all sorts of things. And the stuff they collect statistics on is actually quite amazing, and how they analyze it. We have the books, the samples of each book. We have the sample of each book, we're looking through, deciding, and then we order.
Wow.
Hang on a second. Now, when the important thing, I think one of the goals of this course really is to say, well, as people who use maths in our everyday life, because everyone does to a certain extent, and statistics is one of the main ways. And so we need to become people who are aware of how statistics are used and how it's presented to us, so you can sort of understand it and discern whether it's accurate. So, you know, when you get a bit of statistics from a newspaper or a news article or some news program that spouts out some percentage or other or some graph, you'll be able to ask questions like, well, is it an accurate representation of the group that they're sampling? We'll talk about sampling more later on. Has it been presented in a misleading way? Often graphs can be presented in a very misleading way, depending on how you do it, how you scale. Where did the information actually come from? You know, they might not actually give a source. It might just be, oh, someone, an expert said, and they present all these statistics, but it could just be meaningless. It's very important that we're discerning about what we believe, because otherwise you see any old thing on the web or on TV and you think, oh, that must be true. And we see that quite often. All sorts of things get away with being printed or being presented as facts. That's one of the goals here. So we want you to learn to be discerning and a good reader of information. That's what it is. Okay, so we're just looking today at a few things. We're looking at tables, pictographs. I assume that you know how to read them, Skisha. And then column graphs and line graphs. But my assumption is that you can read them already. That's a fair assumption to make. So we're going to do the work from the book, and then you can ask me any questions if you need. But tables are an easy way to display small amounts of data. Okay, you can display small amounts. If you have too many things going on, then it becomes too big and complicated. So if you have this example here, okay, let's just forget about this. I'm going to move over here. So let's have a look at this example. So table showing the number of drinks sold over a week at a cafe. So Monday, 340, 233, 544, 344, 655, 677, 453. How many drinks were sold in the week? Somebody tell me. $573, 577. What is it? 3246. Good, thank you. 3246. Alright? Good, so then, which was the busiest day for selling drinks?
Saturday.
It was. Okay, and why might there be more drinks sold on the weekend? Alright, so these are the, can I just say, typically in an HSC setting, it's these sort of questions that are given. You have to do a whole bunch of things. You may have to present it, you might have to draw a histogram, you might have to do something, answer some questions, but then it asks you, why did this happen? Or, why might this be? And you have to give a credible reason. So give me a credible reason as to why drink sales may be more popular. Fine. Yeah, both of those are good. More people are out on the weekend and are buying drinks from the cafe. Shh. Franco, you okay?
So is it the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that's an important point that we just touched on. The idea of interpreting data is a big part of the course. All right, in exam questions, it's not just about being able to do the stuff with number crunching. You need to be able to write something about why things happen. What is the data saying about something? And that's the whole point of statistics. What does that say about the thing we're trying to find out? Why is this important to the cafe? These are the questions that you need to know about. Okay, so the cafe needs to make allowances that it's going to be busy on Friday and Saturday. And so what's that mean for them? Maybe extra staff, maybe extra space they have to set up, or more outdoor space on those days, or whatever it might be. Statistics says something about these things. Now, this is a pictograph. Isn't that clever? It's like ice cream. You see that? Yeah. So how many ice creams were sold in December?
100.
Yeah, it's actually slightly less than a whole. So I would say approximately 80. Yeah? You see why that is? Okay, so this is not a very accurate way, but they use picture and apparently they become more fun. It's a more fun way to. Okay? How many were approximately sold in June? Ellie, how many ice creams were sold in June? here. 1 to 300, and let's say, I don't know, 20 or something, about that. 320. Yes, that's a good question. Is this graph for the northern or southern hemisphere? Why is that, Mitchell?
It's for roasted power universe.
Good. Well, they don't have in July or August, do they? Okay, so northern, because it is hotter in June and it must be summer. I don't know. I just noticed that as well. Okay? Okay? So basically, it's this. Now, I was thinking about column and line graphs, but I'm not going to give you any examples. So let's have a look. So it's going to be 4.1 and 4.2. These are exercises. All right, and so working on those. Thanks.